In the last lessons, I introduced the conflict model, and we talked about how a situation or an event triggers certain thoughts and feelings, your inner experience, your inner response, and how these lead to a moment of choice when you make a decision, consciously or unconsciously, about how you'll respond. Will you slip into the cycle of weakening behavior by using one of the three communication styles of dominate, accommodate, and avoid? Or will you choose to override these natural tendencies and move towards collaboration by committing to honor both your own needs and feelings as well as those of your partner? In this lesson, I'm going to talk more about collaboration and the skill of dialogue, in which you make it safe to talk about your concerns in a way that you both feel like you win. Beforehand, you might remember that I talked earlier about two types of conflict, resolvable and unresolvable. The truth is that you'll just talk yourself to death if you try to resolve everything. In fact, John Gottman tells us from his research that 69% of conflicts are not resolvable. Wow, that's a surprising statistic, I should say. He says that he and his staff do 4-year follow-up interviews with couples that are coming to his labs, and they're still arguing about the same issues. Their clothes, their hairdos may be different, but it's like only 4 minutes have passed. Well, here are a few examples of conflicts that he might say are unresolvable. How many kids to have, where to live, how often to have sex, which church to attend, how to parent, how to spend a vacation, how to clean or how clean the house needs to be, how much time to spend with the in-laws, and so on. Well, in all honesty, I do have to take some issue with John Gottman. I don't believe it's necessary to come up with perfect consensus on some of these issues. In fact, it's impossible to expect that you'll align on all of your expectations since you're different people with different personalities from different backgrounds. But if you can accept that fact, then you can make it okay to have different needs and expectations, and you'll be able to understand each other and make compromises, do some give and take in your relationship. That even though you're talking about something that's not perfectly resolvable, you can come up with some decisions that I think will allow the two of you to be happy. In the meantime, let's get back to the steps for resolving conflict. I shared with you that the skill we use is dialogue, which I define as creating a pool of shared understanding in an atmosphere of respect and goodwill in order to arrive at a mutually beneficial outcome. Notice the three parts in this definition: an atmosphere of respect and goodwill, creating a pool of shared understanding, searching for mutually beneficial solutions. Well, in order to engage in dialogue as opposed to the other styles of communication, you have to recognize a few truths. You and your partner have differing perceptions of the same event or situation. Furthermore, your perceptions can be different, and yet both of you be right. Communication is the way you bridge these differences in your perception. You create intimacy as you understand, accept, and even value the perceptions and inner experience of your partner, even though different from your own. Dialogue not only helps you do this, it's the only way that you can get your perceptions out in the open to develop a deeper understanding and even appreciation of one another. It's the way you get to know the unique inner world of your partner. When caught up in dominating, accommodating, or avoiding, you're manipulating a situation to avoid vulnerability and intimacy. You're attempting to manipulate each other or protect yourself rather than understanding one another. On the other hand, when you're able to understand and accept and even value one another's inner world, you move away from being two individuals toward becoming a third entity, we. And this isn't accomplished by one individual giving in or merging with another's point of view, but by learning the work of dialogue in which you're able to look beyond your own point of view and understand and accept that of another person, that another person has as much validity as your own. This realization that you and your partner understand one another's point of view, even though you may not agree, not only facilitates communication, but is also deeply unifying and even healing. That's why learning this process of dialogue is so important. We get to this place of unity and healing by following 3 steps. Step 1, start with respect. Step 2, create a pool of shared understanding. And step 3, search for solutions that meet the needs of each of you. Well, I've created a handout to go to with this lesson that you can download and print, and it summarizes. It's kind of a cheat sheet that you have for understanding these steps. I'll be talking about the steps in some depth in the upcoming lessons, and so let's go on to step 1. Step 1 is start with respect. I'll see you in the next lesson.